Hello students and welcome to my channel. Today we will be learning Standard 9 Geography Chapter 9 Trade Part 1. Introduction. Given in the picture are various commodities like fruits, clothes, food grains, and these are the commodities which we use as per our needs. We get all the commodities which are shown in the picture from the manufacturers and producers through the wholesale traders and the retail traders. Or also sometime we go to a supermarket or to the shopping mall to purchase all these things. So after we purchase the things in the shops or into the malls, the shopkeeper takes money in exchange of the commodities of whatever we have purchased from him. So the act of buying and selling is called to be as a trade. And so this is what we are going to learn in detail in this chapter, trade. What is a trade? The buying and selling of goods is done to fulfill each other's needs. These who purchase are the consumers of the goods. The producer produces and the sellers sell the goods. Buyers and sellers buy and sell the goods respectively. This is called trade. So buyers, it means the consumer who pays in exchange of the goods or the services. You can also say that trade is an economic activity because when an activity is done for the monetary gain means to earn the money is called as an economic activity. So in this economic activity, here the producers produces the thing and the sellers sell the goods to the consumer. So this is called to be as a trade. Why do we trade? The economic life of people is interdependent. No region or country is self-sufficient. Trade between two regions is necessary to fulfill the needs of the people. As each region has different geographical conditions, each region produces specific commodities. If there is a paucity of commodity, then there is a demand for that commodity. The place where it is in abundant provides the supply of the commodity. Thus, supply is done from regions producing excess commodity to region facing deficit according to the demand. So, the economic life of people is interdependent. That means we cannot produce or manufacture all our needs on our own self. We are going to depend upon the others for some or the other needs in our daily life. No region or no country is a self-sufficient. That means however rich or powerful the nation is not going to be a self-sufficient one. That is, they cannot produce or manufacture all the things in their own nation. Trade between two regions is necessary to fulfill the needs of the people. Or we can say that need is an important factor in trade. It is only because of the needs that trade relation take place between the two regions or the two nations. As each region has a different geographical conditions, each region produces specific commodities. Now for example, let us take an example of Kashmir. In Kashmir geographical region is such that more and more apples can grow in this region. Whereas in the case of Konkan coastal areas, here instead of apple there are more and more mangoes or jackfruits can grow. Or if you go to Punjab, more wheat plantation can grow over here. So here according to the geographical regions, you can say that the production of the commodities is all based upon the geographical condition of that place. If there is a paucity of commodity, paucity it means insufficient supply, then there is a demand for the commodity. So when the commodity becomes scarce or they have become insufficient, that time there is more and more demand for that commodity. The place where it is abundant means in a large amount or in a more sufficient amount, provide the supply of the commodity. So those places who have the abundant or a large or a sufficient amount of production with them, they will definitely try to give to those places where there is a paucity of commodities there. Thus, supply is done from region producing excess commodity, excess means more commodities, to region facing deficit. Deficit means it is a situation in which the supply is less than its demand. That is called as a deficit situation according to the demand. So wherever the production is more in that region, those region will definitely try to give these commodities to those places where there is a deficit condition. Barter system. Barter system is a method of trade in which goods are exchanged without the use of money. This barter system, it is an old age exchange method. This system has been used for centuries, long before money was invented. This system was used in the ancient and medieval period. Trade was done only through the barter system. In this, there was an exchange of good for other goods, like grains were exchanged in the lieu of the work done, or oil, salt, honey, and milk were exchanged for the grain. There was no currency used in this trade at all. But this created a problem of estimating a proper price of the commodities. So people used to encounter lot and lot of problem. So as a result, the use of currency started. Trade involves selling and buying of goods. For example, we get vegetable from vegetable vendor when we pay him money. We get books for which we pay the money to the shopkeeper. So, when we give the money to the shopkeeper to buy a car or to buy a furniture or the food, in exchange we get the goods. This is called to be as a visible trade. But there is another trade in which we do not get the goods in exchange, but we get the services. This is called to be as a invisible trade. Example of invisible trade. When we travel by vehicle, we pay the fare, and in exchange we do not get any commodity, but we get the services over here. So in this service, the service provider picks us from a particular location and help us to reach our desired destination. Same in the case when we go to a doctor or to a lawyer. When we go to them to take the advice, that time we don't receive any commodity in the money what we pay to them. But we get the doctor or the lawyer's service. By paying for the service, we can use their skill and intelligence to gain the advice. Now let us learn about the types of trades. The types of trades have been divided into two parts. First one, on the basis of quantity of goods. Again, it has been subdivided into wholesale trade and retail trade. And the second one, on the basis of extent of trade region, is further divided into two parts, that is domestic or internal trade, and second one is international or external trade. So let us first focus on the internal trade, under which we are going to learn about the wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade. Traders buy commodities on a large scale directly bought from the producers. The commodities are also sold on a large scale to retail traders. This is called wholesale trading. Wholesale traders buy goods on a large scale from industrialists, farmers, etc. Retail trade. When the traders buy goods from wholesale traders and sell it directly to the consumers, then it is known as retail trading. The quantity of goods sold is less in this case. For example, the shopkeepers selling goods, vegetable vendors in markets, etc. Now, based upon the extent of the trade region, the trade is been divided into two parts, that is the domestic or internal trade and international or external trade. Let us learn about the domestic trade. This trade takes place between regions within the same country. The size of country, diversity, distribution and availability of natural resources affect the internal trade within the country. The importance of this domestic trade in a country is that it facilitates the exchange of goods within the country. By doing this, it also makes sure that the factors of production reaches to the right place so that the economy of a country can also grow. For example, the trade between the Kolkata and Mumbai or between Kolkata and Chennai. This is an example of a domestic trade which takes place within the country. International trade. International trade means the exchange of goods and services of one country with other countries. Some countries produce specific products in excess. For example, crude oil in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and wheat production in USA, Canada, etc. The international trade allows countries to expand the markets for both goods as well as for the services. The most commonly traded commodities are clothes, machineries, raw materials. So due to the international trade, the goods or the commodities are available throughout the country. Now, one of the advantage of this international trade is that due to the international trade, the market contains a greater competition, and as a result, more and more competitive prices come out, which brings a cheaper product for the consumers. So this is one of the benefit or the advantage of the international trade. Now let us learn about the two types of international trade, the bilateral trade and the multilateral trade. When the international trade takes place between two countries, it is a bilateral trade. And when the international trade occurs between more than two countries, it is called multilateral trade. Export and import, these are the basic processes of international trade. So let us learn about these basic processes. First one, export. When a country produces excess, that means more goods or services than required, it sells these to countries which have a demand for it. This is called as export. Import. When a country buys those goods and services which are scarce, that is less in quantity in their own country from another country, this is known as import. So the export and the import, it helps to grow the national economies and expand the global markets. So students, this is the end of the first part of chapter Trade Part 1. In the second part, we will be learning about the balance of trade, the International Trade Organization, and the importance of marketing. Thank you, students.